The boogeyman is coming.
How about now? Oh my god. I never claimed to be, super technologically, savvy. So, what's up, everybody? It's Nick, not Justin. Justin and I were gonna be doing this, and then Justin kinda started to feel like duty, this evening and had to back out. So it's just me. I know, unfortunate. It's just me. No Justin and Nick show this week, but I hope I can keep your guys' interest enough for this one because we're here to talk about X. Yeah, X. This is a movie that was put into theaters, surprisingly. Um, I this is a first of all, the premise alone. And by the way, uh, yeah, it's cool, Mike. Um, everybody that's in the chat so far, what's up? How's everybody doing? Um, yeah. This movie is a movie that I was really looking forward to. Actually, the first trailer I saw, I remember being like, okay, haven't heard anything about this. This looks kind of interesting, though. This definitely looks like it's something that my wife will not want to see. And spoiler alert, I was right. She did not see it with me. So, because I just knew that she was not going to want to watch this movie. What's up, Matt? How's everybody doing? Hey, Christina. Hey, Sean. Hey, Rudy. Everybody that's in here. Sam, what's up? What's up? Um, yeah, I just feel like, you know, uh, I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Started to watch more trailers, and I said, okay, this kind of just looks like grindhouse, old school, like slasher movie. I'm into it. I'm into it. Went and caught it last night. I didn't get to see it. Hey, what's up, Garrett? I didn't get to see it opening weekend, and I was kind of bummed about that because I don't know. I'm weird like that. Like I like to see movies opening weekend. I like to support the opening weekend. If it's a movie I have interest in, obviously. If I don't have interest in it, then I could care less. And wow. Wow. What a film. What a film. First of all of you guys that are in here right now, has everybody seen it? Because if you haven't seen it, we are going to get into spoilers in a little bit. Uh, I mean, even if you haven't seen it, you don't mind spoilers, obviously stay. But I don't want to ruin the experience for anybody else if they have not seen it and they're like, oh, don't spoil me. Even though, correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody that has seen this movie, I feel like this trailer is pretty straightforward. Don't you guys? Like, I feel like it pretty much tells you what you're going to get with this movie. Aside from, I don't know, there's the motivations, I guess, aren't revealed in the trailer, but I think everything else is pretty well spelled out in the trailer. I don't think there was anything when watching this movie where I was like, "Oh my god, wow, what a crazy plot point." Um, no, I think it was pretty well mapped out for all of us with the trailers. But so to all of you guys that have seen it, haven't seen it, a quick plot synopsis. What is X about? Because the marketing has been a little oh, how do we put this? It's been a little risque. What is X about? Well, X, I feel like isn't the title that it should have been. They just missed 2 letters. The title is actually supposed to be sex, and they just forgot the S and the E. I'm kidding, and I'm not, because that's pretty much the point of this movie. Basically, it's 1979. A guy that owns a strip club and has his girlfriend and his number one dancer. They're going to do this adult film. This is going to be their big break. This is how they're going to make a name for themselves, and they're going to make some money. And the filmmaker behind it, RJ, is like, I'm going to make a classy dirty movie. Like, he keeps harping on how he's going to make, like he's like Kubrick or some shit. Like, I'm going to take this subject matter and I'm going to make this just such an experience for the viewer. Like, this is going to be cinematic. And so they go to this old couple's farmland. I guess they have a like a boarding house that they rent out to people for reasons, inadvertently maybe, but whatever. And they're there to film the movie in the little boarding house. Well, the old man, who's old as shit, and his wife, who is also old as shit, they basically, I guess the idea is that they're not cool with what they're doing there, and that's pretty well known. So they kind of try to keep it under wraps. And then the wife, the old woman, who's played by Mia Goth, and a lot of prosthetics and makeup, and it looks disgusting in a very believable and good way, I should add. And it's she wants to feel pretty and young again and desirable again. And these young, hot women running around and these youthful, vibrant young adults doing whatever they're doing, regardless of what they're doing, just the fact that they're there and they're flaunting their stuff, and it makes her self-conscious, and it's making her long for what she used to have. And she tries to get involved in the production a little bit, kind of, it seems like that's where it's headed, at least. And she gets shut down, and then she gets angry, and you think it's like a spur of the moment thing, and then you find out later on in the movie, no, it's not. So it's just it's that's pretty much the plot. I gave away some spoilers there, but my God. Hey Jamie, what's up? I'm glad to hear you liked it, Jordan. We're gonna really dive into this thing. So, what did I think about X? Like, first and foremost, just my overall thoughts of X. The first half of the movie is very Ty West, and I mean that in a good way, because he has a very specific style. It's very slow burn. It's, let's get exposition, let's get to know characters, let's get to let's really set the setting and whatnot, and the feel of the film, before the back half, where it's a breakneck pace and shit is happening left and right. And that is this movie. I mean, that is every Ty West movie that I have seen. T. Parker, I agree. And I can't wait to talk about Mia Goth, because I was shocked, quite frankly, in a good way. But it's so it's very similar in its setup with a normal Ty West film. The first of all, the thing that really stands out to me is the aesthetic. I mean, it looks great. It looks like it was shot on like 16 mil. It looks very, very grainy and classy at the same time. Like, it definitely transports you to the 70s, and he's got a very good eye for the scenery, the clothing, the music. It's all like spot on. And I love that, because so many times you get movies that take place in a certain time period, and then like songs will be in the movie, or clothing or hairstyles, and you're like, well, that wasn't even released or popular in this time. Like, what? So he really, really nailed that. And you get introduced to these characters, and let me just tell you guys, kudos to the cast and crew in this movie. This cast, they're Brittany Snow. I've seen her in a lot, but she's never been someone that has been like a selling point for me. Like, I've got to see this Brittany Snow movie. That's no disrespect. It's just never. She's not an actress like that I'm like, she's in a movie, take my money. Mia Goth. I think she was in the remake of Suspiria, but I don't think I've really seen her in anything else. You've got Kid Cudi, the rapper, in this movie. You've got who else? Martin Henderson, the dad from The Strangers Pray at Night. He's in the movie. Jenna Ortega, God, and then Lou Taylor Pucci's lookalike, which nobody on the internet can believe it's not Lou Taylor Pucci playing RJ, but it's not. And they're awesome. I mean, they're awesome. I think that the cast all around is so good, and this is such a hard thing to do because you have a premise that is very, very, very risque, very hard to sell to just your general movie going audience. So it's like you're going to expect with that kind of content matter, you are you're going to get kind of unlikable characters that you want to see die. And I disagree. I liked them. I really did like them. Yeah, Christina, I loved it. I think a lot of us here are singing its praises. It was I really had a good time. You should definitely go check it out. But I mean, I was just shocked. I'm like, holy crap. Like, I really like all this stuff. Like these characters, like their interactions seemed organic. Their performances were they were really good. They felt very period. They felt very, of that time. And the growth that you get from Mia Goth is just she was amazing. I mean, she was really amazing. I was genuinely surprised. I'm like, this woman deserves to get more leading roles. She was great. Jamie, oh my God, I know. Landslide. I listened to it on my way to work this morning because of that scene in the movie. It was so good. It was so good. So yes, I completely agree. So the cast is great. The setting is really cool. And I don't know what it is, but it's like this dude can nail an atmosphere. I mean, it felt like a summer night where, you go outside at night, the moon is full, you're hearing the crickets. It made me want to go like swim at a lake in the middle of the night like I used to do when I was younger. Like, it had that vibe. It felt very much like the place and the time that it was taking place in. Oh yeah, she's in it. Wow. I have seen A Cure for Wellness. I didn't remember she was in that movie. Wow, T. Parker. That is a good movie too. I got to rewatch that now. All I remember is Dane DeHaan. He's what I think of when I think of A Cure for Wellness. Probably because my Amazing Spider-Man love, but whatever. And so everything is set up really, really well. Now we get to the adult film portions, and I'm just gonna say, guys, I don't know about you, but I thought that this movie didn't toe the line of rated R. I think it went over the line of rated R. I was shocked the MPAA gave this an R rating. And by no means was I offended. It's a film. It's not going to offend me. I don't have delicate sensibilities like that where a fictional movie on screen is going to offend me with what I'm seeing. I knew what I was getting myself into. We're all adults here. Okay, we can watch these things and it's fine. We can handle it. But I really thought they pushed the boundaries. I mean, here's the thing about let's just talk about it. Let's just be honest. Let's just talk about it for a second. When it comes to sex in movies, they're usually not super elongated scenes. There's ways that directors will kind of skirt around showing too much or elongating that scene because of getting an R rating. And I felt like the sex scenes in this were they were pretty long. And yeah, and I don't know. So it didn't bother me at all, but I think that they really, really did push the boundaries there. Let's not even talk about the old people scene yet. Okay, I don't even want to touch that yet. We'll get there, but and you know what? As someone that is very, I don't think it's beneath anyone. Like I hate the people that will judge men or women that will do these types of scenes in horror movies or just in films in general because well now that's just beneath you, like that's just smut, that's this, that's that. more power to them. I mean, one of the themes of this movie that I love is like it's as vain as it sounds. It's really not. It is true. We all feel this way as we get older. Is we're young, we're good looking. Let's have fun. Let's not take things too seriously. Let's have fun. Like let's embrace our youth and our appearance and let's and I really love that. I mean, that's empowering. That really is empowering. It's like it's your body, it's your choices. You're an adult. Like don't let anybody tell you how to live your life. If that's what you want to do, then hell yeah, do it. Like go all in with that. And I thought that message was actually really cool. Um and but again, there was something, I believe T. Parker said it about the cinematic feel, yeah, of the scenes. And that's another thing I wanted to say. He uses like a soft old school lens in a lot of those scenes, so it literally does look like you're almost watching like a documentary on like old school adult films. So it's handled really, it is handled with class. Like, and I was trying to explain this to my wife, and she was like, how do you handle like sex scenes with class? Sex scenes in and of themselves aren't classy. And I'm like, you're not understanding. And I don't want to try to explain this to you because, but it was handled, it was not heavy handed. Okay. It was there's a lot of noise for sure. They're very noisy. I'll just say that. But as far as like seeing too much of the action take place, not so much. Not so much. And Brittany Snow's first nude scene, and she did an interview, and I implore you guys to look into it. I can't remember what website it was or that she did it, but she opened up about this, and she was like, basically like, screw it. I'm at a point in my career where I'm going to do things different. I'm going to go outside the box. I'm breaking the mold that I've been in for the past 2 decades, almost. And good for her. I mean, good for her. Cause she was great in this movie. She was great. But so yeah, so all that stuff is handled nicely. I think it's handled well. They're elongated a little bit. They're definitely elongated at times, where you're wondering, am I legitimately watching a porno? Like if you were watching this movie in like a room in your house and somebody else was in another room, they would think you were just watching a porno. Like it's so yeah. If YouTube demonetizes this video because I said that word, fuck my life. But whatever. Yeah, you can't say porn. Like what? Subject matter. It's what we're talking about. Whatever. Anyway, so this is a really interesting turn for me, guys, and I want to hear what you all think about this. Okay. And I saw this coming a mile away, especially with the scene with Mia Goth's character in the barn. When Jenna Ortega's character, Church Mouse, as they call her, but her name is Lorraine, is watching that scene unfold. You can tell she's like getting into it. And I'm like, she's going to want to do this. She's going to want to do this. And guess what? They're all drinking, and she says, I want to do that. And you know what? I really, really like how this was handled in this movie, because her boyfriend, he's a piece of shit. I'm sorry. RJ, I did not feel bad that man died. He spent the first half of this movie, when his girlfriend was so weird about this and not okay with it. Yes, Ty West Boogie Nights. Yes, that's right, Jamie. He was trying to explain it to her. Oh, it's just a movie. Like, it's just sex. Like, sex isn't a big deal. Like, whatever. Like, oh, and then she's having the conversation about like, well, isn't it, aren't you like, if you're together, isn't it hard to watch that happen? No, it's just a movie. Everyone, oh, it's just a movie. So then as soon as she goes, I want to be a part of it. Her boyfriend's an asshole. I mean, a controlling, manipulative asshole, because he flips on a dime and goes, well, no, why not? Because no. Like, I did smirk, like, oh, it was kind of funny, like when he didn't have a reason, his whole reason was just no. But I'm thinking the whole time, you're a dick, man. Like, you've been trying to explain to her for half of this movie that, oh, don't take it seriously. It's not a big deal. Who cares? It's just a movie, blah. And then as soon as she wants a part of it, you're like, well, no. I can justify it if anybody else is doing it. And if they asked me, I'm sure I'd do it, but you're not allowed to be a part of it. So did not feel bad when that guy died at all. But we're almost to that point. So we get Jenna Ortega, and she's like, and I knew she was not going to partake in a scene like that, at least on screen. Like I knew it was not going to happen. She's a rising star. She's still relatively young. She's 18 or 19 years old. There is no way I could see that happening. So I was not worried at all. I thought he was actually going to interrupt it. Like I thought something was going to happen. I didn't think they were just going to cut away. But regardless, that happens. He's a wreck about it because he's I don't know. He's a crybaby. I mean, yeah, he said to her, "When did you become so?" Exactly. Yes. So I'm hoping a lot of us are on the same page here. When as soon as he's trying to tell her no, we're all like, "Screw you, man!" Like 30 seconds ago, you're selling this movie and them having sex for fun, and now you're like, "But you can't because I said so." Nah, screw you, man. But yeah, it's just he can't take it. He's crying. He's taking a shower. So he goes like, you know what? Screw this. I'm leaving. You guys can have her, basically. Like, okay, what did you expect? You literally brought her into this situation, tried to sell it to her for 45 minutes. And then when she finally buys into it, you're like, I don't want to be with you anymore. Crybaby. And the old lady's, blocking the way out. And he's like, hey, let me get out of here, basically. Like, but do you need help? Are you lost? And she, not only does she stab him in the throat, this scene is beautiful too. This scene is beautiful. I love how this looks. He is on the ground. She's stabbing him repeatedly in the throat and smiling and just, it's like, it is menacing. And the blood spurts are like shooting up onto the headlights, and you just get this red hue on the shot throughout the rest of the shot because of the red. Oh my God, it was gorgeous. She like practically cuts this dude's head off because of how many times she is just stabbing him. Robbie, she was there because she was holding the boom mic and stuff. So they were like aspiring filmmakers, and so she handled the equipment. And yes, Don't Fear the Reaper. Oh my God, Don't Fear the Reaper at this point too is just amazing. All of this is just chef's kiss. I mean, it's just chef's kiss. And from this point forward, you're like, okay, let's go. Like we are into it. And she has this very like, she starts dancing while like kind of like caressing herself and like playing with the blood a little bit. She's like dancing in the headlights. And it's like, it's artistic and it's symbolic in the sense of like feeling youthful and feeling vibrant and feeling alive, like that, which is the big theme of this movie. And we'll tackle that once we get to the end, about what the main theme is. But yeah. And so, from that point forward, it's on, and everyone's kind of splitting up looking for people. First we get Martin Henderson's character and Jenna Ortega's character. They're looking for RJ, and oh God, he steps on a nail. He steps on a nail in the barn. And the funny thing is, this is how you have a good filmmaker. This is so telegraphed. For like 10 seconds, it's coming. It is literally in the forefront of the shot. Just like, okay, here's the board, here's the nail. Right there. That's the shot. And he's me coming toward it. We know it's going to happen. And it's still so effective when it does happen. It does happen. I don't know if it's because of the sound design or what, which is gross when he steps on it. It is gross. But my God, I mean, such a great effective moment. And then the pitchfork through the through the hole in the door. I thought he was gonna like see her or something, typical horror movie tropes. Yes, he was in the ring. You are absolutely right, Rudy. No, it just cuts back to him like looking, and you just see like one of the freaking prongs from the pitchfork just come through right in the eye. And I laughed unintentionally. And no, I laughed at this part in the theater because I'm sick like that, I guess, sometimes. And he's laying there dead, and the woman comes into the barn with the pitchfork and like stabs him in the butt cheek, like really like it's very like she's like she's like all dainty about it, like, eh, you dead? And he doesn't move. So she's like, all right, he's dead. Let me cover this bastard up with some hay. I was laughing my ass off. I mean, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I was just having a ball. And man, so the people are dying and shit's happening. She finds that was RJ she found in the cellar, right? I'm like 99% sure that was RJ. But no, Rudy, I didn't laugh about the eye. I laughed about the butt cheek stabbing with the pitchfork when she was checking if he was dead. But yeah, Matthew McConaughey look-alike. He had a nice booty. So people are starting to die left and right. You find out that the husband is like in on it too. You see a car in the lake. So you're like, oh, this has happened before. And a lot of stuff starting to add up for you. And the husband shoots Kid Cudi's character with the shotgun at, I mean, when he has the shotgun pointed at him, why did his character not just go like, get that shit out of my face? He let him monologue for a minute before he shot him. I would have been like, oh, hell no. But regardless. Okay, it was a missing person. Okay, I couldn't tell because they focused more on the grotesqueness of it than the face, so I couldn't really tell. But I did see that. When they did show the face, I was like, is that supposed to be RJ? Because it doesn't look like RJ. But okay, whatever. Yeah, so he gets shot. Jenna Ortega gets locked in the cellar. And dude, oh my God, can we talk about the practical effects of the part where he breaks the shit out of her hand? You get this shining callback where she's like, I'm gonna unlock the door. And I went with my buddy Toby and his fiance Greg, and I hear Toby in the middle maybe it was Greg when she broke through the door. Greg goes, she should have broke through closer to the lock. She's gonna have to reach. And I was thinking the same thing, but I was like, whatever. I am in this this moment right now, this shining callback, and out of nowhere she just gets her hand smashed, and I'm like, oh, gross. Yes, I mean, my God, that was just so that was brutal. That was brutal. And he's like, I told you to get down there. I'm like, I wouldn't have stayed down there either, but yeah, so a lot of this shit's happening, and then let's get to one of the best scenes in the movie. I mean, one of the best scenes in the movie. Pearl is on the dock. Okay, if you've seen the movie, you know damn well what scene I'm talking about. And Brittany Snow's character, she's like, "Do you need help? Like, my Nana gets confused sometimes," and immediately Pearl is very standoffish to her. And she's like, okay, fine. I was just going to help you, whatever. And Pearl starts calling her a whore and whatnot. And she's like, it pisses her off for sure. And she tells her to get out of her way. And she's about to call her a bitch. She's in the process of calling her a bitch. And Pearl pushes her in the water. Now, we didn't talk about the scene with Mia Goth while she was swimming earlier in the movie and the gator coming up right behind her. And she gets out just in the nick of time. Beautiful scene. Tension, suspense. Fucking loved it. Ty West, masterclass in directing right there and crafting suspense. But we knew that was going to get called back. It was going to get called back somehow at some point throughout the movie. As soon as she pushed her in the water, I knew what was about to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen that quick, though. I thought there might be a little. Nope, that gator comes up and bites her in the face and and then Pearl's like, bitch. And it's just I laughed. But my God, yes. Yeah, homage to Lake Placid. That's right. Bobby Lynn. Yeah, let me just tell you something. Brittany Snow, in this movie. And I've never been, like I said, never been a big fan of her. She's gorgeous. Okay. And man, she brought it to this role. She brought it. Even if she was the more, at least the movie made you feel like she was the more promiscuous one, maybe it was trying to play on those tropes of she's the bad girl of the bad girls, but I loved her. I mean, you still like her. She seems like she has a good heart. None of these people seem like bad people, at all. And that was a feat to accomplish for this type of film. So again, Ty West, I mean, you're money, man. But then we get to this final showdown. This final well, I'm trying to remember her name. Don't tell me. What is Mia Goth's character's name, guys? don't. Oh God, someone let me know in chat. I don't know why I am forgetting her name. It's killing me. But Mia Goth's character, she is hiding under the bed in the boarding house, and the old people are looking for her, and they can't find her. And there's this really touching scene. Like, it is touching, and it gets disgusting. Like Ty West, Maxine. Thank you, Jamie. Maxine. Yes, it's a very touching scene where like Pearl is talking about how she wants to feel desirable again. And do you remember how like when you met me and you said like I was the most beautiful, or no, he says you were the most beautiful woman I'd ever laid eyes on, and she said, but not anymore. And he says always. And it is very touching, even though these people are super messed up. But like in that moment, you're just kind of like, that's kind of cute. And then it's just let's do it. And not only are they doing it, but oh my God, you're hearing Pearl say some things that are just adding to the vulgarity of the scene. And of course, you just get an overhead shot of old man butt cheeks just flexing as he's thrusting. I mean, guys, I'm telling you about this movie. Like, this movie. You should know what you're getting yourself into by watching it, let alone listening to somebody explain it in detail. But yeah, so that's all happening. Maxine crawls out. She runs to the house. She saves Lorraine from the cellar. They're like, let's go. Let's get the hell out of here. And then Lorraine is basically like, I hate you guys. You put me into this situation. Like, screw you. Bye. I'm going out. I'm doing my own thing. Like, I'm getting the hell out of here. She goes out the door, and this caught me by surprise. I mean, bam, dome rocked in the face by a shotgun. She fucking loses her footing and falls flat on her ass. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, whoa. And as if it couldn't get any gorier, nastier, more in your face, they're pulling her in. You see half of her face shot off, and she's like gurgling still. She's like, "Grr, grr." And I was like, oh fuck, man. Like, holy shit. Oh, hey. Thank you so much, Keith. I appreciate that super chat. I'm so glad to hear that you liked it. I couldn't wait to tell you the other day in the comments. Hey, thank you for not spoiling it. All of you guys, thank you so much. And I'm glad you liked it too. This is a movie that I want people to go see in the theater while it's still here. I really want people to go see this movie. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I hope you're doing well. And it's nice to see you in here, my friend. Thank you. So that's all happening. This is fine. And Maxine's waiting, and she comes around that corner with the gun. And I'm thinking, I don't know about you guys, as you're watching this movie, are you thinking, he was saying earlier that gun he had in the glove box had no bullets in it. It was just to scare people. The entire time she's holding that gun up, when she went and grabbed it, I'm like, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. This is not, there's no bullets. There's no bullets. And I knew that was going to pay off. Ty West set everything up earlier in this movie. I mean, God, so good, so effective. And she's like giving this spiel and then goes to pull the trigger and finds out there's nothing in it. Pearl's reaching for the shotgun. She kind of dodges it. I think some of the buckshot might have got her like in the arm or the shoulder. It kind of looked like that a little bit, but she dodged the headshot that was coming her way. And it made Pearl fly out the freaking house. And I should add, by the way, when they're having that monologue, when she's talking about, what does she say? I refuse to accept a life I don't deserve, or something along those lines. It's in that vein. I'm paraphrasing here. It is juxtaposed with that preacher that you've been seeing on the TV throughout the movie saying the exact same thing. And it's like, okay, wow. Okay, what's the connection here? That's interesting. So this definitely has a point to the story, and we'll get there in a second. But Pearl just flies backwards, and kudos to realism, golf clap for realism. You can't just pick up, especially if you're a late 70s, early 80s, person. You can't just pick up a shotgun like that, shoot it incorrectly, and expect it to not kick back at all. I've shot a double barrel shotgun. Those things are powerful. Yeah, she got got thrown out. But let me tell you something. Dalton, yes, for their budgets, they do. A24 is usually not the type of studio that's ever going to have a runaway hit in the sense of like, oh, it did 250 million worldwide. Like, no, but they're hits for A24 because A24 has a really has a knack for $2 to $5 million budgets and making like 30, 40, 50 million worldwide. So, and then they usually do well, like on streaming and physical media as well. So, yes, they make quite a hefty profit on most of their movies. And they don't market a ton either. That's another thing. They don't put a ton in their marketing budget. And I wish they would. And we'll get to that point when we wrap up the movie because I have something to say about that. Yes, divine intervention. But, she goes out there. And I don't know about you guys. I'm rooting the whole time. Don't help this woman. Do not help this woman. She's killed like all your friends. She has done this to many people. And she's like, my hip, like help. And Maxine's just walking away. And I'm like, good for you. And then she calls her a whore. She's like, oh, you'll end up just like me. And I'm like, kill her. And I see as she's Ty West, again, telegraphing so many things. You see it coming and it's still effective. He's got the camera right to the side of the truck, low near the ground to the side of the truck. And you're seeing Pearl come into view. She's crawling into view and you're seeing the truck aligned right here. And she stops like right here. And you're like, her head is right behind the tire. And you knew it was coming. The only question was, is Maxine going to do it? Is she going to let this woman live? I'll call the cops. She'll go to prison, whatever. No, she does it. She says, let me smash that melon of yours. And boy, is it juicy. That is grotesque and great. And she drives off and, doing another bump of Coke and just kind of, living her best life. And we find out when we cut back to the beginning of the movie, when it's showing the carnage of it all, the preacher is her dad. And she basically ran away from a life that was probably being forced on her. She wanted to X-branded clothing on their site. Ooh, don't tell me that, Ben. I might have to buy something. She wanted to live her own life. She refused to be forced into a life that she didn't agree with by her father. She didn't think what she wanted to do and who she was bad. And she was right. So let's get to the two themes of this movie. The first theme of the movie is obviously not Maxine, my God, about Pearl and really all of them, but mainly from the point of Pearl. It's about aging. It's about getting older and losing that youthfulness and that vibrance you had and feeling desirable. And, it hammers that home. And for somebody like me that I have world-class anxiety, I'm the world's biggest worrier. Death is my number one fear. Maybe a reason why I subconsciously like horror movies so much. It kind of hits home because you're kind of like, man, I'm going to get old one day. That sucks. So that's, it's about youth. And so then on the flip side, the same part of it, it's another theme of it, but that works with that. And it's from the younger people's point of view of we're young. Let's have fun. Let's cut loose. Let's embrace our sexuality. Like, let's embrace. Look, I'm not going to tell you guys how to live your life. I'm just going to say something personal from my point of view. If I can level with you guys for a second, when I was in my early 20s, I lived that life. I'll just say that. I lived the life of I'm young. I'm not ugly. Okay. I'm not hyping myself up. Don't worry. But I said, I'm young. I'm not grotesque. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to embrace this and I'm just going to do whatever I want. And I did for a few years. And then, I met my wife and I got it out of my system, I guess is what I'm saying. But that really resonated with me too, that message, because I could relate to that. Because I felt like it was very important for me in my life to go through that. And watching that on screen and living vicariously through them and kind of like reliving, points of my life, that message just resonated with me so much of like, they're not bad people. They're not lower than you. They're not second class citizens. They're just, they are individuals that know who they are, know what they have, and know what fun is to them, and they want to have that fun, and they don't take life too seriously. And I loved it. I loved it. Um so both of the themes are just they're pretty deep. I mean, they really really are. And I'm sure if you're someone that is, afraid of aging, this resonated with you. I'm sure if you're someone that had the kind of crazy party days, it resonated with you. Like, these themes really resonate. And it makes a movie like this timeless. Although it takes place in the 70s, the late 70s, these themes are just themes that are going to be around forever for everyone. Generations upon generations are going to have these same thoughts and these same fears and these same feelings. And I really liked it. I thought that this movie had marketed itself as a bloodbath. I don't know, should we call it a booby bath? Because it marketed itself as nudity and gore. Could you ask for more? I just rhymed that. I should have been a part of the marketing team. But that's how it marketed itself. And to find that there were deeper messages there and that really resonate too, was just, I don't know, it caught me by surprise. It really, really did. I shouldn't have been surprised. Christina, I am glad to hear that. I can't wait for you to see it. Tell me what you think of it. It's just great. It's just it's great. I should have known better. With obviously Ty West being a part of it and it being an A24 film, there was going to be messaging, there was going to be metaphors, there was going to be symbolism, and there really were. Even though the trailers made you think you were just in for one type of movie, there's a lot more there. There's more meat on the bone. Yeah, I know, Ben. I'm excited for that. I saw that teaser. It looks interesting. I'm excited for it. Ty West actually mentioned that he wants to do a trilogy if everything goes well. So go see X, guys. If you have not seen it, go see it. Support it in its theatrical run. But know what you're getting yourself into. There's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of gore. But you know what? If you're a fan of slasher movies, haven't you seen these types of movies like hundreds of times? This, may be on the heavier side of it with what they've got, but it's nothing you haven't seen before. So if you feel like you can't handle it, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think it was hard to handle at all. But yeah, so let's get to so in the chat, guys, let me know what you thought of this movie. Overall, I want you in the chat, out of 5 stars, you tell me what you give it out of 5. If you do a 10-star scale, if that's your thing, tell me what you give it out of 10. I said 4.5 last night on Instagram because I was processing it quite a bit. And, I processed it and I woke up this morning and I said, no, that's a 5. I really don't think I have any complaints. Really, it's a 5. It's a 5. Guess my only complaint is, you know what? I'm a man, but I'll just admit it. And I don't tell my wife, I would have totally loved to see more Brittany Snow. And you know what I mean when I say more Brittany Snow. So we won't even address that anymore. I don't have any complaints. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. Ben Grimm gives it 4.5 out of 5. All right, Ben. All right. Let's see. Tony gives it a 5. All right. And this is one thing too I'm noticing, guys. This movie does not look like it's divisive at all. Like, at all. It looks like basically the general consensus is by fans and critics alike. Everybody liked it. Yeah. Okay, 4.5 for T. Parker. Yeah, they do, Robert. But usually it's different. Usually it's like old people and like creepy nudity, like uncomfortable nudity. In A24 movies, some of the nudity in this movie was not uncomfortable. But again, it was handled very tastefully as well. So, So then, yeah, we're left with, Pearl, the prequel that should be coming out. We don't know when. Nobody knows when that's coming out, but it's filmed. It's done. And I'm excited for it. And I really, really hope that we get a third film because I'm sure I'm going to like Pearl. I'm sure. I just worry that if this movie, hopefully the word of mouth keeps this movie like where it's making a little bit of money every day. That way it ends its run at a pretty decent box office total when it's all said and done. Because then Pearl will probably get a theatrical release. If not, Pearl's probably just going to be streaming, which I don't really care anyway. It's just for physical media purposes that I care. I can't wait for this home video release. I feel like this is oh my god. I feel like there's going to be a beautiful steelbook to this. All right, Jamie gives it a 4.5. Nice, Jamie. But yeah. So I loved it. I feel like this is what I want to talk about really quick with A24. I know their method I understand the logic behind the method of their marketing. Don't market a ton because you don't want to spend 5 times your production budget just to market a movie. Because then if it is just for a niche group, it doesn't have a good chance of really giving you a profit, and you might end up losing money if you dump too much of the marketing. So I get that, but Bobby, I really like I like Lionsgate a lot. I like Universal. I don't know if I have a favorite, but so that I get all that, but I cannot help but think that if they had marketed this more, this really could have been I'm not going to say Halloween Kills or anything like that or Halloween 2018. No, but we could have been talking about a $15 million opening weekend instead of a 4.5. There's enough of us twisted horror fans out there that want to see movies like this that if all of us are made aware of it, we'll probably show up to see the movie. So, yeah. I wish they would have marketed it more. I really, really do. I still think this is going to turn a profit when it's all said and done. You're probably looking at a worldwide lifetime gross for this movie somewhere around 15 to 20 million worldwide. I haven't seen any international numbers yet, so I don't know how it did internationally. But that's what you're probably looking at unless the word of mouth really does carry this movie. But this was probably made on not even a $5 million budget. So A24 is definitely going to profit off of this movie. They're going to make money. But I just can't help but think that they would have made more. So I don't know. Step out of your comfort zone a little bit. T. Parker, my favorite A24 film. Oh, I really love The Witch. I do. Was not a fan of Midsommar. Probably Hereditary or X. Yeah. Genuinely, I don't know how I feel yet. Need to watch X again. But it's between Hereditary and X. Yeah, and that's another thing too, Ben. Let's hope that word of mouth is going to carry it because I also didn't catch it till the week. So this word of mouth definitely is helping. But yeah, guys, that's X. I loved it. I loved the movie. I feel like this is the conundrum that I'm in. And I just want to call some people out, not by name or anything, just like people in this community. I'm going to call you out. Okay. If you're someone that incessantly complains all the time about needing new original films, new original ideas, and then they come out and you don't go see them, you don't support them, could you contradict yourself anymore? Here is an original horror film that is pure cinema, in my opinion. I think it's great. And I think a lot of people agree. It's getting great reviews. It's very competently made. It's got a great director. Wouldn't you want to go support it? Because that's your plight, right? We need more movies like this. Okay, well, then go see it. Go see it. Because if you don't get to complain about not getting these types of movies anymore. So yeah, that's my piece on it. Go see this movie, guys. Go support it. Christina, that's a good question. Would this be a movie to see with your significant other? Can you watch elongated sex scenes with your boyfriend? Because you're gonna have you got quite a few of them in there. But I think it's actually like 3 is what it really is. I think it's like 3 of those types of scenes. But it's not just that. It's like I couldn't watch this type of movie with my wife because she hates nudity in films. Like she just hates it, and it's just not her thing, and she thinks it's trashy, whatever. She doesn't understand slasher movies, okay? So I couldn't take her to see a movie like this. Like she'll never want to watch this movie. That's fine. This is not a movie I would ever watch with my mother. Ever. I would rather be caught dead. I can't watch a movie with nudity with my mom, let alone the lengths that this movie goes to with those scenes. No way. But it really just depends on what you're comfortable watching with your significant other, I guess. I don't think I made a video on this a couple days ago. I really just don't think that somebody's taste in movies does not say shit about them. It really doesn't. Like, it's a movie. It's a movie. Yeah, Bobby, it's a great movie to watch at Thanksgiving. Show Nana and Pawpaw, get your aunts, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews, get everybody together and put it on. It's a really wholesome movie. I think that it would bring the family together for the holidays. I really, really do. Keith, 4.5 or 9 out of 10. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, I crossed over and I said, screw it, 100%, 5 out of 5. I'm just going to do it. I'm just doing it. But see, this is what I'm saying. Everybody loves this movie that has seen it. Everybody's loving this movie, and I love that. I love that. I'm waiting to see. I need Piz Owl to see this movie. I want to hear what Piz has to say. I'm excited for that. I know Lee liked it. Christian really liked it. Cody liked it. Actually, I think all of us loved it. If I'm being totally honest, Justin loved it. I want to know what Piz thought. I don't think Piz has seen it yet, but I need him to see it because I need to know what he thought. So, X guys, X is X gonna give it to you, as Christian said, and it will. It will. Yeah, Christina, it's in theaters. It's still in theaters. It just came out on Friday, actually. Well, Thursday technically. So, but it's one of those movies that has got a more limited release in the sense of it's only playing on, I think, 2,600 screens nationwide, whereas bigger movies are usually playing on anywhere from 3,500 to 4,000. So it doesn't get as many show times. In my theater, there's about 3 or 4 show times a day. So that's why I think it's very important that people go see it and support it before it is pulled from theaters, because it's not going to get a very long theatrical run. So go see it this week, guys. Go see it this week. It's great. Bobby, I like Netflix original movies. I like quite a few. I haven't seen a ton of Hulu ones. But yeah, I'm totally open to that kind of stuff. Not opposed to it. So I'm looking forward to Pearl. I'm definitely looking forward to Pearl. I want to play in this world again. I think that I'm very excited for that. I think that that's going to be really, really cool. And I'm looking forward to it very, very much. But yeah, guys, I'm going to open up the chat for a few minutes. Let's discuss. Let's chat away. Chat away about anything and everything. Oh, only a week. Wow, T. Parker. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be it's a limited release, it is nationwide technically, like it meets the metrics for nationwide, but it's not really, in a sense of this isn't the Batman, it's not getting 12 showings a day in one theater, it's getting 2, 3 a day, and it'll be here for a few weeks at most. So, but I loved both. I loved the Batman. So, ooh, Ben, my favorite kill. It's got to be Jenna Ortega's. It's got to be Jenna Ortega's. Yes, hobgoblins. If Christian was here, he would have he'd have a conniption right now. He'd throw a fit. Doesn't like to talk about hobgoblins. Anything, Dalton, fire away. This is now a Q&A, free for all. But it's got to be Jenna Ortega's. One, because I didn't see it coming the way it came. It was just like, bam, she flies up in the air. I'm like, damn. Then you see her face half blown off and her gurgling. I was like, oh yeah. Yeah. But I think the next, I don't know. I like Martin Henderson's death. You know, the whole pitchfork in the butt really, really, really set it over the top for me. You know, um, I have not seen that, Rudy, on Amazon. It was decent. Okay, well, decent's better than bad. Do you prefer 5 cream or X? Oh God. You know the funny thing is, T. Parker, is that last night when I walked out of this movie, I was asking myself, what's the bar for horror right now for me? And it was Scream. That was the bar. So I was like, oh God, I loved this movie, but I loved Scream. Oh man, why are you gonna make me do this? Y'all are gonna make me do this. Okay, I'll say this. I'm not gonna go to the lengths that Christian went to on Twitter because he's just a shit stir. And you can tell him I said that. And he wanted to stir the pot on Twitter after seeing this movie and saying, move over, Scream, like X is where it's at. Like, because that was his bar too. That was the best horror film he'd seen in a while, I think, is what he had put that at the top. And then he said X blew it out of the water. I wouldn't say that, but I'm gonna give it to X. I really, really am. And that is not a knock on Scream. Scream is fantastic. It's the best, in my opinion. It's the best Scream movie since 1997. So that's 25 years. There's not a ton of films in there, but you get my point. I'm gonna give it to X, but again, yeah, I loved Scream. Without JLC, do you think Halloween will fall off? No, but I think they will take a break, and they should. Take a break for a few years for a reset, and hopefully in that time frame when they do take a break, we get some Freddy back and some Jason back to kind of fill the void. So yeah, that's what that's what I'm hoping. But no, it won't be done. I just think they need to take a break for a little bit. Yes. Brooke, funny you should ask that. I'm trying to find it on my shelf. I can't see it on the shelf right now. It's too dark behind there. But yeah, I own it. I love House of the Devil. I love the House of the Devil. It is fantastic. When I walked out of the theater last night, I was talking to my buddies Toby and Greg about it, and I was like, "So, what'd you guys think?" And I was asking Toby because he's a big horror fan too. I said, "Toby, have you seen like The Innkeepers or The House of the Devil?" No. I was like, "Well, these are Ty West movies. Like, that's the guy that directed that." He's like, "No, I haven't seen him." I'm like, "Oh my God, you got to watch him." Like, I love those movies. The only Ty West film I have not seen is The Sacrament. I haven't seen The Sacrament. That's the only one I haven't seen. I own every other Ty West movie, and he's yet to let me down. So I'm sure I'd like The Sacrament as well. But I love The House of the Devil. I love that movie, and my wife finds it boring. You guys got to understand what I'm dealing with here, okay? Not, I'm kidding. I love her, but my God, I get just boring. No, it's atmospheric and moody, and I will not tolerate this talk. Would you like it if Nancy came back to an Nightmare on Elm Street and do a Halloween 2018 thing? Would I like it, Dalton? I wouldn't say I'd like it. Would I be opposed to it? No. I actually think that's the more realistic route that they're going to go. So, don't be surprised if that's where they go. But I'd be okay with it. I would not be someone that would go to the internet and go, son of a bitch. No, I'd be okay with it. How many times have you seen No Way Home? Waiting for the physical. Okay, T. Parker, I've only seen it twice. And it's funny you mentioned that. I actually bought it the day it came out on digital last week to show it to my wife and my brother because they had not seen it. And it was funny that we're sitting on the couch and you see the first portal open up with Andrew, and you could tell it's Andrew. Obviously the suit, but he's taller than all of them. And his theme starts, and my wife goes, "Oh, it's your boy." And I was like, "Ooh," like, even though I'd already seen the movie, just the moment was great. So like, yeah, she really enjoyed it. Toby's her favorite. So yeah, so I bought it again on digital to watch it, but I've only seen it the 2 times. Matt, yes, I'm gonna check out Morbius. I don't give a shit what people are saying about the reviews. Venom and Venom 2 didn't get good reviews. I loved both of those movies. Saw them both opening night. Don't care. Gonna support Morbius because I think it's very important if we want to see Spider-Man in this universe. Hopefully Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. So yes, I'm gonna give Morbius my money. And Rudy, let me know how the sacrament is after you watch it, my friend. Let me know. Okay, let's see. Thoughts on Scream 6 coming out this time next year? Good. Good. I did not want to wait. And Christina, it is filming in June in Canada. It'll be filming this year. I don't really think we needed to wait. Like, let's do it. Let's get it going. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Hey, what's up, JK? How you doing? Yep, Quebec. That is correct. And Valley of Violence. I haven't seen it. Trailer looked pretty good. Horror adjacent. Yes, yes. Do you ever wonder why they don't make clean comedies anymore, like the John Candy movies? I don't know. I feel like we as a society for a while we had gotten edgier. And now it's people are definitely getting a little more sensitive. So you're actually starting to see that edgy comedy kind of tail off a little bit. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Maybe it was just a simpler time back then. You didn't have to gross people out or hurt yourself or other people to make them laugh. Or so I don't know. Do you think Saul shouldn't have ended with? Do you think should have ended with 3? I think you're asking if I think it should have ended at 3. I don't think it should have ended at 3 because I really enjoy Saw 4 and Saw 6. However, I do think that John Kramer shouldn't have died in 3. But they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with that one because they had John Kramer having cancer in the first movie. Like we knew he was dying. So I don't think they planned for that movie to be as big as it was. So when it was a massive hit, it was like, oh God, we need to make more. But how long can you keep a guy that's terminally ill alive in these movies and keep it at all believable? So they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with that one. But yeah, I don't think he should have died. I think that's where it is. Did I like the twist ending where the guy had to let the time run out and didn't? Oh, but no, that pissed me off, Bobby. It pissed me off because Detective Eric Matthews, Donnie Wahlberg, I love him. And I love him as Eric Matthews. And when I was in the theater watching Saw 4 and we saw him alive and part of the game, I said, yes, he is still alive. There's hope for redemption for Eric Matthews. And when Rig busts through that door right before the timer and he dies, I died. I died inside when that happened. I died. Why is everyone acting so weird about the nudity as if we haven't seen it before? I, for one, love a good... Yeah, here's the thing, Keith. That's what I'm saying. If you're a horror fan, especially a slasher fan, you've seen this in movies dozens, if not hundreds of times. Like, and really, like, are we going to lie? Like, level with me here. Level with me here, viewers. Everybody's watched porn in some capacity in their life. Inadvertently, whatever. Inadvertent. I don't really know. Well, regardless, you know what I mean. Don't act like you are above watching a movie with this type of content in it. Like, give me a break. And it's not this like, I mean, it's not, believe me, this was tame compared to what the actual act can look like. So yeah, I mean, people get on their high horse and complain about anything, honestly. Have you heard about Spider-Man and Morbius? So I heard that there actually is no Spider-Man in Morbius, and I'm actually really bummed about it because I was really hoping that when they went back and did reshoots, it was to put Andrew in. Unfortunately, I have heard that there is no Spider-Man. I also heard that they cut a few of the Easter egg scenes because Sony is worried about this movie and they don't want to have to worry about it not doing well and it being a part of the universe that they can't branch off of. So they're kind of trying to distance themselves, hoping that the movie, even if it doesn't do well, they don't have to try to cash a check that they can't cash, basically. So I'm worried. I'm worried about the performance of this movie. I really am. It's a bummer because I love Venom. I'd love to see Morbius do similar type of business like Venom, but yeah, that's where we're at with that. But yeah, guys, is there anything else? Any other questions you got for me? Any concerns? Any comments? Anything at all before I wrap this bad boy up? Again, I knew this topic wasn't going to be like just like with the box office performance of this movie. This is a very niche movie. It's a very niche group. Like I wanted to talk about it anyway. Okay, you know me. I ain't doing this channel to go viral. No, I talk about things I'm passionate about. And if you guys are too, well, then that just makes it better. There's an audience. Everything has an audience. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, talking about it and then watching the movie, of course, because love the movie. But yeah, any other questions you guys got? Throw them my way. I'll give it a few more minutes. I've got some dishes to wash and a kid to give a bath to. Yeah, no problem, Tony. This was different for me. I've done spoiler streams before when talking about a movie, but I don't think I've ever broken a movie down like I did with this one. Like we talked about pretty much every major scene and plot point. So different for me. Probably didn't flow as well as it normally would. But I don't know. I don't know. I enjoyed the format of it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Thanks, Christina. And you better see it, Christina. You better see X. I will be angry at you if you don't see X. I'll be very angry. By very angry, I mean I'll be disappointed, but I hope every single one of you that has not seen this movie yet goes and sees it. Heard about The Quarry? It's a horror video game story. I have because of David Arquette on Twitter. I want to say I have, but I'm not really familiar with it. But I am familiar with the name, and I know that it's a game with David Arquette. All right, thank you, Christina, and you let me know as soon as you do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if that is it, then I am going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a like on this stream if you haven't liked it already. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for all your questions, all your comments. Thank you so much for being a part of it and wanting to talk about this stuff. Ben, I think it'll be I've heard that it toes the line. Actually, like it's a pretty hard PG-13. There's some kills, there's some blood, there's some dark elements. I think it'll be pretty horror. I really do. I think people are going to be surprised. I think that might be why some people are being turned off by it, because it's not your prototypical Marvel movie, and I'm cool with it. I am cool with that because I'm not big into the glossy Marvel movie. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Again, follow me on social media. Instagram is the Lost River Drive-In and Twitter is the Lost River DR1. If you're not already following me, follow the You Need a Horror podcast on Instagram. We now have a channel or a page on Instagram for the channel. So check that out. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. So I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great week. And I'll have an upload either tomorrow or Thursday. I'll have another upload this week. So you'll see my ugly mug again this week. But yeah, that's going to do it for me tonight. So again, thank you so much. I will see you later. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I am pulling out.